I'm Chito Vela. I'm the city council member in Austin for District 4.
Now, Councilmember Vela, if you could just briefly explain what exactly the GRACE Act seeks to accomplish and what your place in making it come about was.
So the GRACE Act does two things. The first is to make any criminal abortion investigations the lowest priority for our police department. We want the police department to focus on your burglaries and robberies and aggravated assaults and much more serious crimes than to go after women who have received abortions. Second, it restricts the city from using any funds to collect information about like alleged abortion crimes. We don't want any kind of abortion crimes databases or abortion crimes task forces or anything like that. We don't want city funds going to investigate and arrest people for these types of crimes. And the genesis of the GRACE Act was really when the Supreme Court opinion leaked. My staff and I were just very upset and alarmed at the potential of Roe v. Wade being overturned. And we wanted to do everything we could at the local level in preparation for the worst case scenario, which unfortunately is exactly what happened. And that's essentially where it came from. It was like, well, what can we do on a local level, given that Texas has a trigger ban, given that it's unlikely that the legislature is going to do anything positive about it? What can we do here in Austin to protect abortion rights, to protect reproductive rights? And I think this was the best that we could do without coming into direct conflict with the state, and still, be in compliance, not be. I didn't want to pass something that would immediately be struck down by the courts or would immediately be invalidated. Although the GRACE Act is very carefully drawn and narrow, it, I believe, will survive any legal challenge and will be effective in preventing the arrest and prosecution of women who choose to terminate their pregnancy.
Yeah, the turnaround time on this proposal coming out was incredibly fast, given the Supreme Court's official ruling coming out. So you're saying that you and your staff were working on getting this ready before the official ruling even came out?
We had it ready. When did we have it ready? 2 weeks after?
Ready, like fully?
I think we had it over to the law department the week after.
Over to the law department 2 work days after.
Yeah, 2 days, after the ruling came out, like kind of a draft. Jenna was working on it probably hours after the leak decision came out. My communications director, and she's been she's been just Herculean in her efforts on the GRACE Act. And law had their edits. We passed it around to different organizations so they could give input. And we probably had what was close to a final version of it, within 2 to 3 weeks after the leaked document. And then we were holding it because, the scope of the Supreme Court ruling could have been narrower. It didn't have to be. So we were ready to edit it in case that we had a better decision from the Supreme Court, but it turned out that no, not at all. And I have to say, I'm so happy that we are going to protect abortion rights here in Texas as much as we possibly can, in Austin as much as we possibly can. But the fact that so many other cities around the state and around the country have picked up the copy that was, drafted here in the Austin City Hall and have passed it is just such a satisfying and heartening feeling. It's just great to see something that we did here spread across the country, as other cities that are in states that are not going to protect abortion rights, that are going to criminalize, reproductive rights, those cities are also, looking to the draft as an example of what they can do. And so again, it just makes me so proud, honestly, that it's being passed, not just in Austin, but around the state and around the nation.
I think a lot of people don't realize that local governments from around the entire nation do look at each other for these sorts of resolutions. Everything doesn't just happen in a closed system. Other local governments, other cities look to Austin or look to cities like Austin for their own bills, for their own resolutions.
And I'll say, I am, I, as an attorney, even before I got to Senate, I copy things all the time from other attorneys that are very good attorneys, and I'm like, how did that excellent attorney do their motion or their, and even in Austin, we always look to other cities for best practices. This city is doing something so well. How do they do it? Should we adopt those ideas? So again, I think that's at the heart of any city's success is, looking around at what are best practices that we can copy. And we have no pride in authorship. Run with it.
Gotcha. So my next question for you is that you have a background in criminal justice and immigration law, and I'm wondering how you view Austin's position in the state of Texas related to those two subjects. What is Austin and Austin City Council's role in criminal justice and immigration law for the state?
Austin has been a leader in many ways in those two areas. And I want Austin to continue to be a leader in those two areas. I'll tell you, the Grace Act was in many ways modeled on the the misdemeanor marijuana legislation that Austin passed 2 years ago, where saying that, again, that misdemeanor possession of marijuana arrests were the lowest level priority for the Austin Police Department. Basically, we're telling the Austin Police Department, we do not want police officers wasting time arresting people, prosecuting people, going to testify against people who have a little baggie of marijuana. That was not a priority. And since then, we have seen zero, I believe, misdemeanor marijuana arrests in Austin, which is great. And that was absolutely a model for the Grace Act. Austin has done similar things with regard to immigration. We have always tried to be a pro-immigrant city. Honestly, we have an economy that depends on immigration. These towers all over Austin, the construction boom that we've seen in Austin does not happen without immigrant construction labor. The hotels and the restaurants that we have, the service industry, vibrant service industry that we have in Austin, Texas, does not happen without immigrant labor. Hotels do not get cleaned up and rooms do not get, made ready without immigrant labor. We recognize that and we're honest about it. These are folks that are contributing to our society, that are contributing to our economy, and we don't think they should be persecuted for, being hardworking residents of our community.
You are the newest member of the Austin City Council, and you are already headlining on as being a sponsor of what will inevitably be one of the biggest resolutions from the year for this year from the City Council. What message do you want that to send to your constituents and even to your fellow council members?
That I'm here to get things done. I'm here to work. I'm not here to just kind of, look pretty on the dais. I'm here to roll up my sleeves and get things done and make Austin it's a great city, but we can be so much more. And right now, my main goal is to make sure that Austin is a welcoming city for working class people. Austin has always been a very welcoming city, but now the economics and the prices that we're seeing for rent, for just living in Austin are continuing to skyrocket, and we've got to get that under control. I don't want Austin to be a playground for the rich. I want it to be a welcoming city for working class people. And to do that, we've got to build housing. We've got to improve our transportation system and improve essentially the quality of life for lower income people. We can't be pushing all our lower income people out to the suburbs to the cheaper housing out in the suburbs. We've got to allow people. The center of Austin is just such a beautiful place. There's so many amenities, parks, cultural opportunities, economic opportunities. We've got to allow the broader community to access all of those opportunities.